Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to do like a hybrid kind of video. I just received the Natasha Denona Gold palette. Makes it sound like it was given to me. It was not. I paid for it myself and I really wanted to play with it today. So we're going to play with that. I also wanted to give you guys an update on Bennett. So we're going to do this as a get ready with me style kind of video, and the VIB sale is on this weekend, so I wanted to give some recommendations as well. So we've got a lot to cram in. I'm going to try to keep this relatively short, so let's do this. I've already put my face makeup on, so I can just sort of concentrate on eyes and lips so that I can chat and then show you some of the items that I have recommendations for the sale this weekend. But first, let's take a moment to enjoy the prettiness that is the inside of the gold palette. It is freaking gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I'm going to take these off. I am sweltering, so I'm going to just throw my hair up and off my face, get it off the back of my neck. I'm just going to dip into this like mustardy shade here and throw that into the crease slash transition area. And we'll start by talking about little baby Bennett. My son is 18 months old and he has one leg that is longer and overall just chunkier than the other. And so we have been through a whole bunch of like diagnostic stuff and imaging and all that kind of stuff, and the orthopedic team at Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto has referred us to the genetics department to try to figure out whether or not his left leg is growing longer or his right leg is growing shorter. If it is that his left leg is growing longer, that raises completely unexpected concerns in the form of particularly liver cancer, but other tumors in the abdomen and around the kidney areas and things like that. So that was an unexpected bit of news for us to receive, and we had to go off and get blood work done to screen for the liver cancer, and then also have an ultrasound done on him to just take a visual look to see if there are any tumors growing. Those diagnostic tests are going to have to be repeated every 3 months until he's about 7 years old, unless the genetics come back and show that the right leg is just lagging behind. So we went for the blood test and we got the results back from that, and he is completely well within the normal markers for the protein that they're looking for. So the normal range for that is 0 to 8, and Bennett is sitting at 4. So well within normal range, nothing to really worry about there. And then we took him for his ultrasound last weekend. It was a shit show. We have received our results back and there is nothing of concern at all in his abdomen. So huge sigh of relief. You know, I mean, obviously we have to do this every 3 months, so every 3 months is going to be that moment of concern before we get the results. But he's 18 months and this is the first round of them, so we were so afraid that something was going to be detected that had been growing for months without anybody detecting it. I mean, in our minds at this point, we're thinking, okay, so if in January when he repeats this, if they find something, then it's only been 3 months because we now have a baseline. So these are very treatable types of tumors and cancers that can develop in this situation. So if they catch it in time, then I feel that he stands a very good chance of a full recovery, if that makes sense. But we were just terrified that it had been going on for like a year, and now what are our chances? So it was a huge, oh my god, that's so gorgeous. It was a huge relief. I want to take a second to thank everybody who gave me such wonderful words of support and encouragement and positivity on my Get Ready With Me video about Bennett. You have no idea how much it means. The DMs that I receive on Instagram, like, it's just been overwhelming, the amount of support that there is out there for us and for him, and I really, from the bottom of my heart, want to thank you. I truly do believe in the power of positivity, and I'm just so grateful. So thank you. All right, so now that the makeup is done, let's get into the recommendations. Let's start with lip products. So the one that I'm wearing today is from YSL. It is one of their lip tatouages. This one is in shade number 7. I really like them. They're very lightweight. They're almost watery in consistency without being runny. I don't know how to describe it. I really don't. They are very comfortable. Not the most long-lasting, but for the comfort, you're kind of trading one off against the other. They do have quite a few shades to choose from. The packaging is beautiful. I personally really like the smell of them, so it's a recommendation. Moving into ABH liquid lipsticks, I have talked about them in other videos. This is probably my second favorite formula. My first favorite is sitting on the desk still, and I'll talk about that next. They are incredibly long wearing. I have, I think, like 8 of these liquid lipsticks. I love them. They have a huge variety of shades to choose from. Again, lightweight, not super drying, but the longevity is there. So my number one favorite formula for liquid lipstick now, Fenty Stunna Lip Paint. This one is in the shade Uncuffed, which is also my favorite of the shades that they have in these. This one's so beautiful. It's like a pinky nude. It's got the right balance of brown and pink. It's absolutely stunning. I love the packaging. I love the applicator for it. It's very unique. You get a ton of product out on the applicator, and again, it's got that sort of like watery consistency where it still does dry down, and the new formula in particular dries down a lot more transfer proof than the original red shade did. But it's very, very comfortable, very long wearing, and wears away gracefully. Like it fades evenly across the mouth, so freaking love these. I also love the Fenty Gloss Bomb. I have talked about this a million times. As you can see, I'm down to here on this, and I've owned it for maybe 6 months at this point, maybe 7. So the fact that, you know, out of 100 some lipsticks that I have, I've used that much in that relatively short amount of time speaks to how much I really, really like this product. If you like a nice classic bullet lipstick, Charlotte Tilbury Matte Revolution lipstick. So good. I got this in the Give Me More Lip kit from Sephora, and oh my god, it's so, so good. It's matte, but it's not drying. It doesn't tug across the lips. It feels very creamy. Again, lasts quite a while, doesn't pill up, doesn't get crumbly on the lips. This shade in particular is beautiful. It's called Bond Girl, and I just love everything about it. Again, these are rather pricey. I think they're 39 Canadian, so if you're interested in them, getting them during the sale is probably a great idea. All right, I have some face products to recommend as well. The first is the Becca Velvet Blurring Primer. I love it. I love this primer. It's not silicone-y, but it still does blend things out. It's like a liquid to powder finish. It's nice just on its own. It just blurs things out nicely. It has a little bit of a cast to it, but nothing that I would caution any particular skin tone for. And I don't know how many more ways I can say that I really like it, but I really, really like this primer. And I'm not one to get particularly jazzed about primers. Like I don't really care. But this one I just keep reaching for over and over again because I love it so much. So then let's get into foundations. This one has its own review. This is the Dior Backstage Foundation, and this one I did talk about in another video as well. This is the Clinique Even Better Foundation. I described it when I talked about it before as like a workhorse kind of foundation. It has an SPF of 15 in it. It doesn't mattify things. It doesn't add radiance. It just evens out the skin tone, masks any imperfections, and just hangs in there for the long haul. Like it's such a solid little foundation, and I absolutely love it. I don't know why, and like nobody talks about it. I don't know why nobody talks about Clinique, but in particular this foundation, because it is just a fantastic, no fuss, no muss kind of foundation. I love it, and it's like $35, so there you go. This one is more in the range of, I think it was 50, edging towards maybe 55. Again, it is very, very good. They're both squeeze bottles, so they have the same kind of top, if that is of particular concern to you. It lasts very well throughout the day, and I really like the finish of it. It's a very natural looking finish. A little bit more on the matter side than this one, but not matte. Like it's just a very natural looking finish. I love these two. They are ones that I would repurchase over and over again. A new concealer find for me that I highly recommend is the Essential High Coverage Liquid Concealer from GRWM. It reminds me very much of the Tarte Shape Tape concealer, but you can't get the Shape Tape one through Sephora because it's an Ulta exclusive for some inane reason. There is the doe foot on this one, so not quite the same as the Shape Tape, but it has the same kind of feel, the same kind of weight to it, and the same level of coverage. And I really, really like it. I had never tried any GRWM face products before. I saw Wayne Goss rave about this one, picked it up, and I see where he's coming from because I really like it as well. To set all of that in place, Laura Mercier Translucent Powder. So I purchased this during the first weekend of the sale, and I've always in the past been kind of like, it's powder, powder's powder, powder's powder, whatever. But I've been noticing with this one in particular that it really does blur out fine lines. A lot of powders that say that they will, or say that they'll brighten or whatever, do some magical treatment to your under eyes, don't deliver. This one really does. It is very lightweight without being overly powdery. It does sink into the product on your face, so it's not like you have a layer of powder that's visible on top of your makeup, and it really does blur everything out. So it was money well spent for me, and I was happy to save 20% off of it. Eyeshadow palettes. I can't believe I'm recommending this one. The Sultry palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I can't say that I like crapped all over it in my will I get it or not video, but I was like, no, not getting it. And then I saw it in stores and swatched it and was like, yeah, you're coming home with me because you're beautiful and I love you. Yeah, this is my favorite of her palettes. It really is. I'm gonna caution you though. If you have a heavy hand, just stay away from ABH shadows because they're not designed to handle a heavy hand. You have to go lightly with them. You have to build up pigmentation and just kind of take your time with it. This one, oh my god, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I'm still mystified by the coral shade. I think it's a weird addition, but the shimmers in there are just so gorgeous. That deep brown called Dystopian, it's absolutely beautiful. And I can see that I'm going to get a ton of wear out of this, so I'm surprised, but I do recommend it. I have now purchased the entire set of these Huda Beauty. I have every single one that she's ever put out, to be honest. But in particular, these new gemstone ones because they're limited edition. I have played around with Amethyst and Ruby. I have reviews on those. I highly recommend either one of those. I expect that these three are going to perform every bit as well as these two, but I haven't yet had a chance to play with them, so I'm not sticking my neck out on the line for these three, but for these two, I can say absolutely the performance is there, and they're just beautiful palettes to work with. I've only played with it the once, but I love it. I spent all night last night just swatching and re-swatching and re-swatching and re-swatching. It's so beautiful. If, however, 160 bucks is too much to swallow, I totally get it. But you still want to delve into the world of Natasha Denona. There are the regular 5-pan palettes. These ones are 61, I believe, 60, call it 60. You get 5 shadows in there. They're the same size pans as in the bigger ones. And a lot of these shades are shades that are drawn from her larger palettes. So from the, I think it's the blue green and the brown purple, or I don't know what they are, but the really big, the $300 ones. And if $60 is still a little bit too much for you, the mini palettes perform every bit as well as these palettes do, but they're just a smaller version. I am so on board with that. I think minis are fantastic. You get to try out the formula, see if it's for you, but you're not investing a huge amount of money. You're still getting 5 pans, they're just a smaller amount. I wish everybody was coming out with minis because I think minis are phenomenal. So this one in particular is the mini Lila palette, and I do in specific recommend this one because the performance is there with all of those shadows. I am going to talk very briefly. I have mentioned these a million times. It's the Tarte Chrome Paint. This one in particular is Top Yacht, and it is so pretty. There she blows, and they're just so gorgeous. They perform so nicely, whether you put them over a primer, whether you wear them on their own. They don't crease, they don't fade, they just last all day long, and this shade is just universally flattering, and I just love it. Cannot rave enough about it. Barry has just texted me. He's just arrived at Aspen School to pick her up, so the whole family's going to be descending upon me very soon. So I'm going to fly through the rest of these products. Cinema Secrets Makeup Brush Cleanser. Fantastic. This giant bottle is the only way to go. The value is there if you look at the cost of the smaller ones versus the cost for the larger one. It's a boring purchase, I get it, but it is kind of a fundamental purchase and it works so well. I will just keep repurchasing this. 2 eyeliners, the Urban Decay 24/7 liners, not particularly this shade, but they have a million to choose from. They last so well in the waterline that I absolutely love them. And then the Stila Stay All Day with the micro tip. This is just an awesome complement to any other black eyeliner that you're using. So it just gives you a ton of precision and a ton of control, and it doesn't smudge around either, which I really appreciate. Kush Mascara from Milk. It's awesome. That's all I gotta say. It's fantastic. I highly, highly recommend this mascara. I always feel a little reluctant to do skincare recommendations simply because to me, first of all, it takes a lot for skincare to impress me because I don't have super oily skin, I don't have super dry skin, I don't have super sensitive skin, I don't have a lot of discoloration or redness or blemishes. I'm not prone to breaking out or anything like that. So it takes a lot for a skincare item to really kind of wow me. And so I find it hard to make recommendations on them because most of them are just kind of like, yep, it moisturized my skin. Yep, it cleaned the makeup off. Like it doesn't really blip on my radar most times. I have 3 items here though that I really, really enjoy and have repurchased. One is the Murad Skin Smoothing Polish. This is an exfoliator. It is a very gentle exfoliator, but also very, very effective. I tend to use it maybe just once a week. I think you can use it 2 to 3 times, it says on the back. I only use it about once a week. This is my second go around with it, and there is where I'm at right now. It just removes like the dead skin and just leaves your skin feeling very soft, and so I really like this. I've talked about this one before. This is the Boscia Luminizing Black Mask. It's a peel-off mask. I love it. I have it in black. I bought the pink one when that one was out last year. I would continue to repurchase this. I have gone through a bunch of deluxe samples of it. Basically, I freaking love this mask. You just apply it, let it dry for about 20 minutes, peel it off, and it just leaves your skin feeling so refreshed and soft. And yeah, I just can't recommend it enough. I really enjoy this one. And then finally, this is kind of a random product, but you can buy it at Sephora. It is a sleep pillow spray. This one is from the brand This Works, and it's just called Deep Sleep Pillow Spray. I have talked about it months ago. Aspen loves it on her pillow. I love it on mine. I have sprayed it on the baby's crib before, just one spray because I don't want to overwhelm him. But it says that it helps you to fall asleep faster, naturally, and wake up refreshed. And I would say that it actually does help you fall asleep faster. I am not a great sleeper. I'm really not. I have a hard time getting to sleep. I typically have to be like exhausted before I can fall asleep. I think I was murdered in my sleep in a previous life. Like honestly, I just have weird sleep hang-ups. I think it's a weird state of being. I know it's completely natural, but it's like suspended animation. It creeps me out a little bit. Also, if you wake me up while I'm sleeping, there's a good chance I'm going to scream and cry and thrash. Ask Barry. It's a true story. It's terrible. But this one really does help to just sort of, I don't know what it is, the aromatherapy aspect or whatnot, but I do fall asleep quite quickly when I spray this on my pillow, so I do use it on a daily basis. I can hear the door opening. My family is home. Perfect timing. I'm going to wrap it up here. Let me know down below if you do pick up anything during the VIB sale. I would love to hear from you, or if you have recommendations for other viewers, please leave them down below as well. And thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch. I will see you in my next video. Until then, just be a decent human being. Bye for now.